Okay, now we're live. Okay.
Legion of Creators.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Let's get our image back up. Welcome. 1 second. All right. There we go.
How we doing?
All right, guys. Sorry we're late, guys.
September 30th, 2025. Episode, what number are we down, Joe?
32.
32. With our host, Captain
there we go.
Multiverse.
Episode 32. Yep, episode 32. Captain Multiverse here. We got Luke, Dinger the Winger, and of course we got McKenna. Sorry for the late start, guys. We were running into some issues kind of to get everything sorted out for us. But we got it all figured out now. So we got a great show for you guys today. So first of all, I wanted to announce, because I just found out about this earlier today, that that's not gonna work. I just found out earlier today that apparently, welcome Melissa, the original 3 leaders of the podcast. Yep, the big 3. So we recently found out today, I guess. Oh, hey, Captain. Thank you, Soft Fan. That we are going to be, that today is National Podcast Day. So we're airing a podcast on National Podcast Day. So that's pretty sick.
Let's go.
So welcome to episode 32. Today's podcast is Marvel Zombies.
Brought to you by.
So we'll be talking about Marvel Zombies, our thoughts on it, and then we'll be discussing some other topics that we won't reveal to you right away. But you guys will get a good show today. So as always, make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe during the stream. You know, don't be afraid to share it with your friends. But we're going to get into it. So all of us have caught up and have seen all 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies. And so we're going to do this differently. Normally the host will share his thoughts first. But I'm going to actually let Kenna be the first one to start this one off. So Kenna, what did you think about Marvel Zombies?
I thought it was unfortunately disappointing. It could have been something really good, and it does have some good moments, but the negatives really hurt it more. Like, even the good stuff doesn't really save it. I guess at first I really liked the first episode, the dynamic between Riri, Kate, and Kamala. I thought those were 3 great characters to be in a team. So it was a little disheartening that they already disbanded after the first episode. Obviously, it's the zombie world, so everything's not going to be always happy, of course. I understand that, but I wish they could have worked together longer, or we could have seen them work together longer a little bit. I thought the Queen of the Dead, Wanda, would have been a cool villain. My only problem with her as the bad guy is that her motivation didn't make really sense to me. She was cool, but again, like, her wanting to have more power for just the sake of it isn't compelling, especially since we already know that Scarlet Witch is one of the most powerful powerful beings in the Marvel Comics universe and the MCU. So yeah, it just wasn't like, there wasn't a lot. I did like what they did with Thor when they introduced him, and him being kind of manipulated by her. I think the biggest thing that did hurt the show is keeping its what if animation style. I just feel like it doesn't fit the tone and it looks wonky at times. It would have been cool if they did more like 2D or maybe a comic style, maybe something they take inspiration from, like The Walking Dead maybe, or some other zombie show. Yeah, I also agree that there should have been more episodes than just 4. I think 4 is the worst one, because episode 1, I'm like, okay, I'm into it a bit, even though there were some things that I'm like, ugh, whatever. 2 was okay. I personally don't care for how they did Shang-Chi in this story. So when he was on screen, I was like a little bored because I had no interest in him. 3 was like getting somewhere, and then 4 kind of dropped the ball with the finale. It will be curious how they continue if there's going to be a season 2, and I'm willing to check it out. Maybe it will improve, but yeah, I don't know. I suppose that's just my final thoughts. There were some good things, some bad things, but mostly just disappointing.
So what's your final score? What's your final score
like
for
out of 10?
Marvel Zombies? Yeah.
I'm still on my like 2 out of 10 score that when I first watched it. Just a 2.
For you give it a 2 because you just there really wasn't that much for you to enjoy.
Damn.
I know it's a rough. I think it's one of my
I'm not
favorite
gonna be
scores I
that
ever give.
I'm not going to be that cruel because I did find some things I did enjoy, but I overall do think that this is one of the weaker Marvel projects on Disney Plus. I do think that there are a lot of issues, but I do think there are some things I'm a little bit more positive on. The positives I really like are enough to keep it higher than a 2 for me. It's not a 10.
I definitely do like it more than What If.
But a 2, I feel like you like loathe it.
I know, but it's not really loathing. It's just like very disappointing because I know it could have been something really cool, and then it just wasn't. So that's why it's a 2.
0 out of 10 or what if a 1 out of 10?
What is the what? Sorry.
What would make it a 1? What's making it a 2 for you?
0? What made it a 2 is that, again, they were just like really, I think for me, I give it a 2 because there were moments where like it had potential to be great. Again, like I said earlier, I really love the team dynamic of the 3 girls at first. And I liked what else? There was I think what this project suffers a lot is like what people say Marvel humor is, like how Kate Bishop did that trick shot arrow against zombie Captain Marvel, and it was just confetti. Like I thought that was dumb. But there were some jokes that I liked. I liked Blade Moon Knight. I also liked when they finally caught up with Spider-Man and Ant-Man and his head in the jar with the Doctor Strange cape.
Right.
He made a joke
in the jar.
He made
I just feel like did you have anything else you wanted to say kind of before I start?
Yeah, I still had more. The joke he made towards Blade where he was like all white to a zombie fight, that's brave, I'm like, okay, that was a little funny. Yeah, and then it wouldn't be funny, but because it was Spider-Man and it was more in character, I let it slide because it was when Spider-Man was using his web to make a zombie Hank Pym punch himself. He's like, why are you punching yourself? Why are you like that? I'm like, okay, that's a little funny because it's Spider-Man. But the rest, I'm like, it's just not... there's no good flow, I feel like, of the story, and I also felt like it was disappointing with the I forgot what they called, like the God's Lands or something. It's where they first meet Captain Marvel, and then that and Eternals guy that I don't remember the name of. I thought that was kind of disappointing.
You're talking about Icarus.
Icarus, yeah. I mean, I know that he's not a zombie, and so like it's cool that his place is just to keep Captain Marvel at bay, but even then, I kind of wish it wasn't zombie Captain Marvel. I was expecting zombie Storm at first because of all the thunder clouds. I'm like, oh, this would be cool to see like zombie X-Men maybe, but then it wasn't. I guess my positives is that it definitely is gory. It definitely hits the mark on the scary zombie stuff, and I did like how they did Red Guardian, Yelena, and what's the other woman's name? Like his wife. Or his fake wife, he called her Winter Bear or something.
Yeah.
I thought she was cool. But yeah, I feel like I give it a 2 out of 10 because it just wasn't enough.
I feel that. I think that's a good take. For me, I have a little bit more of a generous score, but I do have a lot of issues as well. I'll get to my score in a minute, but I'll tell you guys my pros. I'm gonna do this pros and cons style. I liked that it was gory. I liked that. I really think one of the cool things about this, one of the things I would give this over What If, is that they took a concept that was really cool and actually stuck with it where What If does these really weird, dumb concepts that are just not that interesting. I like that,
and I do agree that
middle-
it is better than What If. I
do like
it
that
more.
in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, they're like, yeah, you know, it'd be cool if we had Moon Knight, but because all of Mark's personas were taken over by zombies, why don't we do where Khonshu goes and takes over Blade? And I was like, that's awesome. I love that. And every time Blade was on screen in this show, I got those kind of Endgame vibes where you're feeling like just getting hyped up and just having that juice. Like I was feeling probably the most hyped up Marvel moments I've seen in a long time. Like, so I really like that. I really like that character. I really hope that the juice that they gave to Blade in this, if it ever actually happens, I hope they bring that juice. I hope the sauce delivers with MCU Blade like it did here. Like, because I really love what they did. Like, I love that it doesn't have to be Blade Moon Knight, but like just the idea that Blade should be a cool character. And I think without Wesley Snipes, who's obviously older up there now, when Deadpool and Wolverine showed Wesley Snipes Blade, a lot of people, you know, they see that as Blade, and nobody's really bought into the Mahershala Ali Blade. But this show made me think that if they wrote it right and if it was actually taken care of, I think they could do Mahershala Ali Blade and make him cool and badass and awesome. And I think we could see that. I just hope that, like me and Ken have talked about over the last week, that Marvel has creative and talented people still in their live action division, which is something I'm a little worried about. But yeah, so overall, I like Blade Moon Knight. He's my standout. I really tried, because I was really excited when they announced the show about Shang-Chi, because I love the movie Shang-Chi. My problem is they do things in this story, even though it's meant to be kind of connected to the MCU, but not really. They do things with his character that don't really flow what happened in the movie. And I get to Zombie Apocalypse and they're making their own like little Elseworld story, whatever, but they still make it feel like it's MCU connected. So it's kind of just, it just didn't work for me. Like this is the first time I've seen something where like, you want me to keep talking when you're gone, or you're just
just keep going. It's okay.
Okay. But like, I really didn't like that he, you know, the stuff with his father really bothered me because he's meant to hate his father. And then like his father gets eaten up and he gets the rings. And then he's all like, woe is me. My dad died. Oh, I have to like, just like, come on, man. Really? That goes against the entire point of those two characters connecting, was that his father was a piece of shit and that he was supposed to want to not even want to be in the same room with him. And so now in the zombie apocalypse, he gets eaten and gets the rings. And like they kind of make Shang-Chi a little bit of a bitch. They did a good job with this character, but he's only there to have a little banter with Katie, and they're in the whole Mad Max Wasteland vibes. So like that was kind of disappointing. I would say, yeah, Blade Moon Knight is a highlight for me. I really liked Zemo in this, being like kind of the leader of everything. I thought that was kind of fun. So I did dig that. One thing I kind of like, but also have some issues with, is I really liked the first episode of the layout of Kamala and Kate Bishop and Riri all being together. I think that was a cool combination of characters. But then I feel like they totally Welcome Chosen. I felt they totally dropped the ball on everything else, right? It just kind of felt like
want to throw that picture up, Joe?
It was just kind of not. Yeah, you pulled that up. That's sick.
Nice.
Do that. Yeah, do you have that?
I actually, when Captain America zombie was rolling around with his shield because he had no legs, I thought that was clever. I thought that was cool because.
Yeah, that was a cool little thing.
The funny thing to me about that was like when they mentioned, I think it was Thanos, and like how he it's like, oh, now he's learning because he had the gauntlet, right? And he had like the power. And they were talking about how they just weren't like that without that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Unless the Queen of the Dead like made her a scion or something.
We needed more,
but
we definitely needed more episodes to develop that. I felt like they
there are
needed to
very cool elements going on here, and I just don't think they're juggled correctly. And
I agree.
like then you have this idea of the zombies can't really learn, but then you have like Captain America with half a body still freaking rolling around dodging
Right.
everything with his shield. It's like, okay, he seems to be almost more efficient.
Right. It's
with
very
his zombie
unclear
body.
how.
What are the rules?
It's very unclear how the zombies work, right? Because if the Avengers, like especially the superhero zombies, are they still competent enough to use their powers? Because again, my whole big problem with the Kate Bishop gag arrow thing that she did was that was an arrow that she caught when zombie Hawkeye was trying to shoot at them. So I'm like, if he's still an excellent archer, why would he use that confetti arrow if he's trying to get Kate Bishop and her friends? And then she catches it, and then she tries to use it against Captain Marvel, and that obviously doesn't work. And even if it wasn't like a confetti jokey arrow thing, even at the end of the day, using some arrow against someone as powerful as Captain Marvel, especially zombified, doesn't really make sense. Like, I feel like some of the characters' actions in the show, they kind of forgot what they can do. I feel like the writers forget what their abilities are, I feel like, and how smart they are. And yeah, I do agree. Like, some zombies are dumb, but then you have, Captain America rolling around. Like, I don't. It's kind of up in the air of how they're supposed to work. But I also feel like you can't, with things like zombies, you can't leave it up to interpretation how they work. I feel like it's one of those things where you have to lay down like this is how they operate, and
Right.
etc.
Yeah,
So
I think that's
all right.
very true.
I'm gonna break
so
it.
my
I'm gonna
last
break
thing I would
this.
just say on this before we jump.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Joe. Go, you finish up, Joe. Sorry.
So I didn't get my my score, but so I feel like there are some pros I liked, but I do feel like that this needed more episodes to be more fleshed out. I do think after what the MCU has done, and I said this to Kenna, I don't think that you can't make Wanda a villain and make it work. I just think she needs to be handled better, and I would have preferred a different villain after Multiverse of Madness bashed us over the head with Wanda already being kind of a villain. So I get they had in What If they set up the Zombie Queen thing, but I wish they would have done something like Namor was in here. I wish Namor was like the main villain, or like Kenna's idea of Storm. I think that would have been cool, because I think that type of stuff. I felt like they made Namor a powerhouse zombie, where they made him a threat, where people were struggling with him, and then he just gets kind of taken out. And I go, another thing I have with this issue with this, and I know they had to market it. I didn't like that all the really cool stuff. 5 out of 10. Yeah, that's a good score. My score is similar to that. But I really didn't like that they that basically all the really cool parts, like the stuff with Spider-Man and Stormbreaker, that was all marketed in trailers. They like put all the really, they only have 4 episodes, but all the stuff was in, like, all the really good stuff was in the trailers. There were only a couple things I saw that, like, so that was kind of sad. I would like to see something more if they did a better concept for a second season. One thing I also was thinking about today, actually, and I know that, they keep saying there was rights issues and stuff, but you know what I really wish, would have made this series slightly better for me? Is if we had a competent hero on the side of the, like, we call them the survivalist team against the zombies. I wish we had a character like Daredevil rallying these heroes against these zombies.
I think Punisher, really. I feel like Punisher would be a great character to have against a zombie.
I think this would be an opportunity where the street level heroes could shine, because you have the zombie apocalypse. It would have been cool to see to see Daredevil and Punisher leading kind of this whole thing. So that's just my one takeaway. The ending of this, I will say this: if I made this story, I would have made this be instead of just doing Marvel Zombies, I would do a Marvel Zombie symbiote crossover, and I would make Null the villain of the story, and I would have all the characters. That's how I would have done it. I think it would have been interesting to have that be going on. But my final take is just because of all the nitpicks I have, and it's just like kind of, I think there's potential, like you said, Luke, but I do think that this is a 4 out of 10 for me. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Did you have more to say on this, Luke, or are you pretty much in the
4
same
out
boat?
of 10. No, yeah. I got things. So.
All right, go ahead.
All right. First off, I think this is going to be disappointing to people just simply because you're going off of the current MCU cast, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, you do have some of the OG Avengers, which is a little bit of a nice flair, but like for the most part, you're talking about like characters that people have not latched onto at all. We have not seen Kate Bishop in how long? Like the Hawkeye TV show,
Right.
the only thing that she's even been in. Okay, Ironheart just came out. People are mixed on that, even though I enjoyed it. Like a lot of people aren't into it. And then you have Miss Marvel, which is the one that probably has the best reception to it, right? And there you go. She becomes the main character of it. And like I think that so many people are just like anti-woke and everything. And it's not even necessarily woke if it's all female led, right? But like so much of old Marvel isn't that way. So now when you take the modern characters and you put them in a concept where it's all the females, people are going to look at episode 1, they're going to start it, and they're going to be like, it's more of this more of this MCU stuff that they just keep doing. You know what I mean? Like they're not learning anything about
they
it.
don't
Like
they don't care that people don't want those things. They keep pushing that narrative, and it's like,
right.
yeah, it's stupid.
And it's like then Moon Knight shows up, or not Blade with the God of Khonshu with him. So it's basically a Blade Moon Knight. And it's like, give us that backstory as well. Why are you leaving that? And it's kind of cool to have the mystery to it in a way. But like, if you really want to be about diversity and everything, like that's the agenda you keep trying to push. And you're like, okay, well, here's all the girls, you know what I mean? And we're trying to get women more into Marvel or girls more into Marvel. But like why not show more of Blade? Everybody's been dying for Blade, you know? Why not? In episode 3, we finally get like the throwback to Thanos having the gauntlet. Like I was kind of saying, if you had started the show off with the scenes from episode 3 and how episode 3 starts with Thanos, you would have a banger of a start of a show. First off, like people would be like, dude, did you start the show? Even if they didn't finish episode 1, they would go in with this great first impression of like, wow, this is trying something. Even if it is Thanos again, like it's better than, you know what I mean? Like, I just think there's the approach to what they did, but the material they had, they could have really done something with. I think where it all falls apart completely is in the last episode. Like, and the third episode is actually pretty good. Second episode is like kind of drag, but 3 was good. And another, like one thing Kenna said was Yelena and Red Guardian. I do not like Red Guardian like at all in Thunderbolts, and I actually like Red Guardian in this. Right. To give this some positive things too. Everybody was dogging on the animation. Sawfan 29. I wouldn't say Marvel Zombies sucked, but it was definitely a disappointment. That's how I feel. All right. And I'm trying to encapsulate everything here. But the fact that it's all like surrounding the MCU and so heavily mixed in with it, I think really hurts it because look at the state of the MCU. And I've heard things like, it's a shame to see that animation go entirely like tied in with the cinematic universes, because then they can't be their own thing. Like, what if the universe starts to be bad? Like I've heard that kind of fear about the DCU even. It's like, I don't necessarily want all the animated movies and animated projects to be DCU related. Like, I might want them to be their own identity at the same time. That would, it's kind of sad to see go, and I hope it still exists. Like, you have Elseworlds, so you should still have it. But
I think that DC will do that differently, where Marvel's very fixated on everything being connected. I think DC's willing to make animated projects that aren't tied to its universe fully, and I think that they're willing to do, obviously Creature Commandos was animated and it fits into the larger DCU, but I feel like it felt different enough because they're just starting off that universe, and you kind of start seeing what their world looks like, where I think that they can make certain exceptions and kind of change it around and not every project, where Marvel wants every project to be, they don't really know what to do with Elseworlds. So I feel like DC will definitely take advantage of that and go, we're getting things Elseworld, like the Batman, the Penguin, all that stuff is going to be Elseworlds. And even this Mr. Miracle thing that they keep talking about, I think that could be Elseworlds. So
Okay.
it really depends.
Right, I feel that. Retro Lad saying, Luke, this animation sucks. I wish we had a Demon Slayer type of animation. That was one of my next points. So I think that the animation is what I was trying to last say is it's getting dogged on, right? I think it's better than what people are saying. Like I was going into this thinking like straight up what if animation, which I think is very, very bad. It is very similar to that, but I think it does have a nicer shine to it. I can see where the glare that happens all the time with like bright lights that come in on certain scenes.
I thought I was going crazy because I'm like
That's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm like it's like I thought I was going crazy describing it to I think Joe one time where I'm like the animation's like fine, but some of the lighting like it looks off. Like the lighting is weird on the models. But yeah, I mean, the animation's not the worst thing. Objectively, it's not bad besides the Blair.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's nothing to brag about. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's got its flaws, 100%. But like, and Retro Lad saying, don't make no sense. Disney has all this money. They can make amazing animation. And I completely agree. It's MCU related. Why isn't Kevin Feige pushing for this to be something?
Where's the higher budget?
Unless he just thinks, is it really this much about profit margins? Like, I don't know
why Kevin
exactly.
Hates X-Men 97 because it's original and he doesn't like that. This is
I really don't know why it is the way it is and why they chose to do the what if animation the way they did, like rotoscope, and why this Marvel Zombies is the way it is.
The reason with the what if animation is that it's 3D. I think they chose 3D because the face models are clearly the actors and actresses' faces of their MCU counterpart. So like when you go back to like season 1, Captain Carter's first episode, there's Steve Rogers, but it's clearly like Chris Evans' face, even if it isn't his voice. Like it's clearly Chris Evans. Same thing with I forgot her name, but whoever plays Peggy and etc. All these other characters. And I think that's why the animation looks wonky to me, because the animation you're supposed to exaggerate like facial expressions. So when like even Red Guardian or Shang-Chi does like a big like shock face and it's the actor's face, but it's very stretched out, it looks weird because it's too realistic in a sense. Like it's too much of a mixture of realism and cartoony when they should just go either full realism or full cartoony a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, it is its own thing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
While being connected to the MCU, it's odd, And then the animation for the Spider-Man prequel, like freshman year, it's like completely different as well, but also cheap animation at the same time. It's like, what are you doing, Disney?
Right. Yeah.
Especially when they had so much pride in their animation.
Well, yeah. Well, as much as we could spend time talking more about animation, because I know
hold on.
Yeah, it looks like
I'm not done yet here, Joe. Hold on. We got to get to episode 4. All right. But before I get there, the Namor stuff was cool. I thought the City on the Sea stuff was kind of cool, right? Cool concepts. Oh, no way. Namor and the fish zombies, basically. But like I really like the Thor parts. I really like what they did with Thor. And I kind of wish that was almost more a part of the plot.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
And I wish that was kind of the end of Scarlet Witch. One thing Kenna had said to me before the podcast was like, why does she even want all this power? You know what I mean? Like, what is even the point?
It doesn't make sense.
I agree with that. And I kind of thought when episode 3 ends and they go to the Nova Corps, I kind of thought like, oh, okay, so there's going to like Thor and Scarlet Witch destroyed each other. And now we're going to see who's really behind everything, like in space, in some kind of like more, I just thought it would maybe the Fantastic Four. They're the new MCU. Like, just
I was just gonna
give me something.
I was just gonna say, where's the Fantastic Four in this show? Because I feel like they would have been amazing in a zombie. I mean, they are in the comics. There's such a pivotal point.
And it's just like you even brought Spider-Man in. So they end it the most basic way possible. with Scarlet Witch and Miss Marvel. Just here it's just lame. There's no payoff,
I
and
really,
it feels like it's gonna lead up to another one or something. I'm not even sure.
I
Like,
really wish they did like kind of a not really a twist, but like how Scarlet Witch was kept going to Miss Marvel, being like, "No, trust me, I'm on your side. I want to help you." I wish it was like an actual misunderstanding that everybody thinks that Wanda is the big bad. She's a reason why everyone is in this zombie apocalypse or continuing it. And then she's like, "No, I'm actually trying to help in her own way." And then they actually did join forces. But that didn't happen, obviously.
yeah, it was it. I would give it. I think it's a 6 out of 10, and this is why I'll say that.
So you're giving it a
because
6, okay?
it's got good elements, it's got good ideas, it's not well executed. And I mean, if we're going by American grading standards, like that's still a failure, actually, I believe, right? If you get a 60 on a test, right? No, or is that a D? You're like
D,
barely passing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
C.
So like, I don't consider it an actual failure because I think for what they're trying, they like achieved something, and at least it, like, some people are saying, it'll go. I wish it was kind of more episodes. I think it's almost like, thank God it was only 4.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it could have dragged even longer and wouldn't have been good. Yeah.
Right. And I just don't want to, crap all over it. Like, while I do think it's completely got its issues, 100%, like, and it's just not great at all. Like, there's still parts of it I enjoyed, like, and there's still parts of it that, like, Red Guardian and Yelena, that was an emotional scene. That was a well done scene, and there's a few parts of that in this, and I think this had some bones in it that like were broken and parts in the wrong places, and I think there was something here, but it just could have been so much better if somebody with some real love or a studio. I don't know what happened, but it could have been better.
I just feel like for me, like, even though there were some positives and there were, and like you said, it was mostly disappointment, I don't think I could give it higher than a 4, because I just feel like there were, like, to me, in regular Hollywood grade, a 6 is like average, and then below that, just, I don't know, it just something about it, just there's not enough.
A 7 to me is average.
7 is average.
Yeah, 7's average. Yeah.
But so is 6. 6 like a low average. So I mean, I can accept a 5 for this show too, but I kind of want to give it a 6 because I do think there is something in it. I think there's a little bit in it. You know what I mean? Like, I really actually like that Red Guardian scene, and I hated Red Guardian. You know what I mean? Like, I hated Red Guardian, and they gave me a good Red Guardian emotional scene in this. Like, I have to give that some credit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed that.
I'm just glad there's no Captain Carter.
That's
sure.
Positive for me.
That's an extra bonus.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I mean, surprising, but I think now that we're, as much as we've talked about this a lot, and there's clearly been people that are engaged by Marvel and stuff. I understand from looking at my screen that we got to talk about the better show right now. That's in our little inbox.
Hold on. I want to, before we move off from Marvel, I just want to read Retro Lad's commentary that he gives up on Marvel, keeps getting disappointed. Hang in there, buddy. Hang in there. And I only care for Marvel Cosmic Invasion. We all here can't wait for Marvel Cosmic Invasion. That game looks great. The beat 'em up, Shredder's Revenge people. If anyone's interested,
I don't really care for the Wolverine game personally. I feel like that's gonna be good. But yeah.
If anyone's interested, speaking of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Retro Lad and I recently downloaded Shredder's Revenge. So if anyone wants to jump on that,
I have that game downloaded. I'll play with you guys. You just gotta let me know next time.
We're getting so hyped for Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's like, let's play Shredder's Revenge. Like, let's just do it. Like, why not?
I'll play it with you guys. I love that game.
And
I always keep it downloaded.
you're reading Marvel Zombies, Retro Lad. I'm curious as to how much of that you are reading, because there is a lot of Marvel Zombies
have fun with that
comics.
one. There's been a lot of Marvel
Yeah.
Zombies comics.
Joe, make sure you use that second picture first. Save that first one for later.
Oh, I plan to use the first, the one of just the show. I'm not going to use the other one.
Yes. Yeah, maybe don't even. I don't even know if that's okay on YouTube.
Yeah, but we'll use this one. I think we'll just keep this one up and we can talk about the other stuff.
All right.
But now, guys, it's time to talk about the best show on television right now, Peacemaker, season 2. Can we have DC zombies? That'd be awesome. Now, this is what's truly sweeping television, because Luke, for a while, wasn't caught up, and now we actually get to discuss all the major episodes. Oh, you got the zombie comic
got
there?
the whole
Dude,
book.
this is an omnibus of Marvel Zombies. Just real quick before we... I need one last thing about Marvel, guys. Good luck, Retro Lad. Good luck. And this is only some. This is only some. There's so much more. It's like the highlights.
Yeah, I agree with that, Retrolad.
Right.
Trust me.
Sorry. I didn't mean to catch you off there. It's Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. So yeah, so Luke, so what was it? How many episodes were you behind, Luke?
I was
3?
behind by 2. I was behind by 2.
The Bible of Marvel Zombies, he said.
What's that?
The Bible, he said the Bible of Marvel Zombies is what you had.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Your big book. All right, so before
Put
we
that
dive
thing
into
next
this,
to your bed.
before we dive into this, I need to grab another drink real quick. But we're gonna go dive. So we should start with, since Luke was the furthest caught up. We can go and talk.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll let you talk about your thoughts on. So I believe it was episode 5 and 6 that you were, because then 6 when it aired, right? So it was just 5 and 6 that you hadn't seen, or did you not see 4 and 5?
I had not. I thought I hadn't watched 4, and I had watched 4. That was the funny thing about that.
So you were really only behind 1 episode because 6 aired this last Thursday.
But I rewatched 4 and 5 and 6 all together. So
so
go get your drink, Joe. Yeah, and I'll get on this because I got something I want to talk about from earlier episodes, anyways. Now, the thing that I found the funniest in this show, and I just got such a kick out of, was just the Eagle Hunter. I don't even know what his name was.
Yeah, Michael Rooker's character.
His
Yeah,
name was,
right.
Michael Rooker's name was what was it? Saint Red something. I feel like something.
Yeah,
something
that's something like that. And just even Eagly before that, before he gets involved, Eagly's amazing, and the bird blindness and all of his anything to do with Eagly is just so funny in this show. And then when he pulls out that giant gun like a freaking Looney Tune character hunting Eagly, and he actually gets the bird on the second shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that only James
in that
Gunn can
episode, I was like,
accomplish.
"Oh my god, did he really kill Eagly?" Like,
Oh, we all were. We're like,
I was
"Oh my god!" And of course, like Eagly is the prime eagle. And like everything that this dude, it was just so ridiculous, his character. And he's like praying to the prime eagle. And like when you actually see him see where the eagle flies to, and he's like, "I got you, motherfucker."
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, oh my god, it actually worked. And then it just keeps paying off more and more, and all the eagles peck him to death.
Yeah,
and he's just like, I'm so sorry, Eagly. Like it was amazing. I was dying laughing. I loved it.
I thought that was fantastic.
So much.
The prime eagle thing, I would laugh if the guy who has bird blindness is Martian Manhunter. Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely something we're going to touch on in a minute, Chris.
Right. There's a big rumor going around that Tim Meadows may be Martian Manhunter, especially because of that scene where he talks with
Rick Flag
Sr., and it's like he almost doesn't understand human emotions. Or is he just playing it off as being funny? Like, and it's a great way to play that character. If we see him as Martian Manhunter, that'd be very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be dope. Tim Meadows having a bigger role, I think, would be a blessing. I even have come accustomed to the idea, because I love this character so much, that even if he wasn't like a big character, I'm even okay with because of the direction that they're going with his character from these couple of episodes. I like the idea of him. We're done with all the butterfly stuff, Chris. That storyline.
Or is he a
done.
butterfly? I think another thing that even makes more sense for him being Martian Manhunter is his name is McFlurry. He could have easily just like looked at a McFlurry at a McDonald's when he got here and been like, "Oh, that's my name." Yeah.
That's something that could be explored too. Like if he's been here for a long time, and they did like a series or something about Martian Manhunter's time on Earth. That's something they could dive into, which I think would be interesting.
And another thing about him being maybe Martian Manhunter is that I've also seen people being like, well, he doesn't really seem like he fits that kind of character, you know? But then again, I think what's smart, because James Gunn knows so many actors, Martian Manhunter's a shapeshifter. So we could have like 2 actors playing Martian Manhunter in a sense. Like we could have, we have McFlurry, who is, what's his name again? Sorry?
Tim Meadows?
Tim Meadows, yeah, Tim Meadows. But then when he's in his usual form that we're used to when we think of Martian Manhunter, we have a different dude. And then, over and over again. Because there's so much you can do with a shapeshifter character like that. So yeah, I'm on board if he becomes Martian Manhunter. But I'm also perfectly okay if he isn't like some major twist with that, and he's just his own special, interesting bird blindness guy.
If it's not a major twist, and it's just him, like what I predicted, which him joining because of his banter with Peacemaker in episode 5. I like the idea of him just being an 11th Street kid now. Like the idea of him like going with the gang after, like, because it seems like he's got moral issues with what Rick Flag Sr. is doing, right? And so, like, I like the idea of him when he meets Peacemaker in episode 5 when they're all trying to take him down, and Peacemaker calls him Shaft, and he's just like he takes it as a compliment. I think there could be some really fun scenes, and it would also kind of pay off a joke from the original first season, even though they kind of already done it with Adebayo. It'd be like what Vigilante said in season 1 about how Peacemaker needs more black friends because he keeps getting a bad rep about being a minority killer.
That would be so funny if they brought that back. Oh my god! Like, yeah, that same dude from the hospital. He's still alive, right? Or did he? Right? Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, if we could bring him back and he's just like, I knew you were racist or something like that, just living it up in the Nazi universe, huh? I thought you said you weren't, right? That would be so funny. Or maybe he runs into him in that universe and he's like
that'd be awesome.
Like in jail. I don't know. We got to find out where all these people are going, I guess.
I
sorry,
think that'd be pretty
spoilers
cool.
for Peacemaker a bit here, so if you haven't watched episode 6
we're diving crazy into it, but you guys had enough episodes you had enough time to catch up, so I don't feel as bad.
There's a lot of like theories that we could like say of like who's gonna be the next cameo and like Martian Manhunter, etc. But until it's Thursday, I'm very curious of in the sneak peek trailer that they have for the next episode. Lex sends Rick Flag Sr. to meet up somebody he knows to help catch Peacemaker. And
let's talk about that for a minute since Luke and I.
Well, hold on. There's a couple comments we should address before.
Yeah.
Let's address these comments before we get more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think the twist of Peacemaker season 2 alternate universes Earth X was like Harrison Wells being Reverse Flash in Flash season 1? I don't think they're doing any kind of Flash references, but there's a lot of talks about Harrison Wells being the Flash, right? That's the guy from the Arrowverse, right?
Yeah.
Or who's the guy from the Arrow, right? I didn't watch
you mean
a lot
you're
of
talking about
the CW shows.
The Flash you talking about Grant Gustin?
I'm sorry?
You talking about the actor that played Flash originally, or are you talking about the actor that played Reverse Flash?
Do you see this comment, Joe? You would know more about this than I would because I don't know who Harrison Wells is actually.
So speaking, I'll explain it. So that's Reverse Flash. So he says, do you think the twist of Peacemaker season 2 of the alternate universe is Earth X was like Harrison Wells being Reverse Flash in season 1. I don't think they're really that similar because James Gunn kind of hinted from the beginning and put multiple hints that, kind of watched the podcast or an episode of a little thing today that even talked about how he was pretty much expecting people to kind of catch the hints, even though he showed his friends all 8 episodes already, like his closest friends, and said they couldn't say anything, and apparently they knew nothing about, like, they couldn't catch on to the hints. But everyone else, I guess, is just smarter than his friends, and we were all catching all the hints. But so I think, like, it's more one of those things of, like the idea of, like, if you're meaning, like, comparing, like, the twist, the Harrison Wells twist was something we kind of predicted would happen in The Flash, but, like, it wasn't, like, that uncommon. And this Earth X stuff, we all kind of thought it was kind of it heading in that direction. So, like, I personally, even though I was waiting for more evidence we can, I think just the first episode really kind of gave me, like, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I think by, like, episode 3, I think I really started wrapping my head around the Earth X thing.
Right.
So I think that's
it was a big theory. So
yeah.
To answer what Retrolad also said about, I also totally expect Overman, maybe some mentions of the Nazi version of the Justice Gang or League in Earth X. I don't think they're gonna be like a super main focus because this will all it's gonna be only about Peacemaker, I feel like, for the most part. So I don't think we're gonna see like a whole team, but I definitely see like maybe Overman and maybe another character or two popping up. Maybe.
I think that we might see a real villain pop in from the universe or something like. James Gunn just tweeted back at somebody was like, "Can we expect a tease for the DC universe going forward from the finale of Peacemaker?" And he said, "Not just a tease." Like, that's what he replied with. So I assume we're getting some kind of big reveal of the direction that DCU is going in, and maybe we're getting like a villain team, or who knows what it is. But like GI Robot is getting played into things at some point. Though there's no way GI Robot.
I actually saw something. I saw something James Gunn answered about GI Robot. I mean, he could be lying. I don't know, but he said that GI Robot is not gonna be in season 2, but expect him to be in live action stuff afterwards.
No,
but again, he could be lying.
That's what that's kind of what I really expected. And if we get him in season 2, I would have been surprised. But which means, I mean, Retro Lad said something earlier about, like more just Earth X content in general. And if we're not getting GI Robot in season 2 of Peacemaker, that means that 1, there either is a lot more Earth X content coming, or 2, that the Earth X people are coming to our Earth. So you're getting them either way, because GI Robot needs Nazis to kill. So what's that, Joe?
I feel like James Gunn wouldn't take this. I feel like James Gunn wouldn't take this concept introduced into the season and build it in and just end it with this when you build up to it, and then you only have 8 episodes. I feel like this needs to be explored further. Honestly, if they wanted to, one thing I was actually kind of thinking about that, I don't know how they would build this up to an event, but I'm kind of starting to get the feeling that maybe the plan moving forward for the DCU to be different from Marvel and just some of the different things is that the first real threat to the DCU of our heroes, whether it's the Justice Gang or the Justice League, whatever it ends up being, I kind of like the idea of like your idea, Luke, of like the villains coming over, right? So like if we introduce in the end of Peacemaker, like say in this episode, my theory is that Ultraman that went into the portal in Superman, when the black hole, that it sent him to this other Earth. And then he went, and so I rewatched before Peacemaker was first really revealing the Nazi twist. I rewatched the Arrowverse Crisis on Earth X. And so the leader of that Earth was evil Green Arrow. So I think here they're going to do evil Superman. So I think it's going to be Overman is that Ultraman has now taken over this place. And I'm like, when Lex was controlling him, I think he's smart now. So I think that he had this time in this world.
It
And
would
now
be
he's
cool to
now
see
now
Ultraman
he's
develop into more of what we know Ultraman to be like in the comics. I would like to see
And
that.
that's
That
kind of
would
thing.
be
I think
cool.
Superman. They kind of joked about him just being this blumbering idiot and just getting defeated. But then I think when he spends all this time in this other dimension, I think he's learned and I think he's evolved and I think he's become, without Lex Luthor breathing in his ear every 5 minutes, I think he became his own person and became really
I
better.
also I really think like there's, and now I'm gonna jump into Superman, but there's been so much talk about
Yeah.
Superman, and people have been saying lately, and I've kind of heard some agreement on it of like that James Gunn played it safe and stuff, and I don't.
Yeah.
It's like yes and no, but I do think like we really need that development of Superman being incredibly strong. You know what I mean? Because one of the critiques is that, this movie makes Superman like look like a bitch. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, I was thinking about that too, right? I was thinking about that, and one thing I was thinking about that would be a good example to exhibit to show strength is, say this is Ultraman, right? And say you did have, like, you say Ultraman was one of the villains of this Earth, and then you did have like something happen where he's now more powerful than he was when he was a blumbering idiot, and now he's a threat. And now, obviously, no one in the Peacemaker universe, none of the Justice Gang, none of the people, like, I don't think if he's now become this evil Nazi leader, I don't know if anyone on the Justice Gang can take him. Because James Gunn has said that Green Lantern can beat Superman. He didn't say Guy Gardner could. So we don't know which Green Lantern he's referring to.
Right.
So
like,
I can see a scenario where, what if David Cornswet plays double duty in this in the finale, and you have Ultraman is a big problem, and then here's Peacemaker's hanging out with Superman because they've hinted at that, and then Superman comes in, and now we see him in something like Peacemaker as an absolute powerhouse because he's got a foe that he literally is struggling with, so he has to become stronger. So I think they could do something like that.
It would be cool. One thing I want to see is like, and I think this is part of why Man of Steel is so loved, and why people can't get over it. And then they compare this movie to that one and why they kind of have that opinion. Like, I would love to see the development of Superman. Like after this movie, like he feels he is like disappointed in himself still. Like that he let himself lose, right. That like he let Lex do this to him in the first place. I'd love to see him like so dedicated to becoming so much stronger that he could like never be beat. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have like scenes of like Man of Steel where he's like carrying the giant chains and stuff like that. Like just show us like a Superman that is like developing, becoming that like incredibly strong, and then still give him that fight. Still give him, like, if you're gonna build Ultraman up, if that's the direction you're gonna go in, build up Ultraman. Like, give us that real Ultraman. Give us like I don't know, you know what I mean? Just like go ham with it.
I really
like people want that
really
epicness and
had theories. Yeah, I really hope, because I know a lot of people had those theories about like a long time ago when Ultraman happened, that like everyone started doing he's bizarre, or he's gonna be what was it, like Doomsday or some nonsense, like all the other stupid things that they started coming up with. And I'm like, I really like the idea of Ultraman just being introduced and being Lex's pet project and then just becoming stronger. Like, if we weren't done with him in Superman, I like the idea of him just becoming different and just being, like you say, the comic book version, make him stronger. Right. And just make him a threat. Being like too big of a character, just shove into a first movie, and then for him to just that's it, right? That encounter with Superman, to me, when he was there, when he was like in the football stadium beating up Superman and Mr. Terrific, he did some pretty impressive things, but I still don't think he's at the level that we would expect to see Ultraman.
Oh yeah, so not like comic book Ultraman for sure. Yeah.
And
I'd love to see them just power increase. Like when I say, like, Retro Lad's like, I don't think we get God Superman until he faces Darkseid, and like I agree with that. Or like we get Superman, Death of Superman, and he comes back. You know, like that's when you really get that. But I still want to see like that kind of crazy power increase like multiple times, kind of like you do in an anime. You know what I mean? Like, because it's Superman. Like, it would be amazing to really portray that level of like power that's just so much above anybody else's, and to still see it increase and increase and increase. Like, I would be very into that, and see what they do with the super family in general. You know, like the Bat family is a very different story, and the super family should be about power and hopefulness and all that. You know, like,
I think they could totally do. I think they could totally do that. I think that'd be really interesting. I think. So we're just reading. I like the idea.
Earlier comments were like other possible cameos for Peacemaker. He said Harley Quinn, Bloodsport, or maybe other Creature Commando characters. I am more on board to believe Bloodsport would be a pretty cool character to pop up in Peacemaker. I feel like he's the most fitting, especially since after the announcement that James Gunn made that he is canon, while Harley Quinn is still kind of up in the air. There has been no confirmation if Margot Robbie's staying. I don't doubt that she's... I totally believe that she's still going to stay, I feel like, but right now nothing has been like officially confirmed, so I think Bloodsport would be the next. And then for Creature Commandos, I think if we're not going to get G.I. Robot, I would love to see The Bride pop up, especially
I mean, I
her and Economos talked.
In regards to that stuff, I'm going to say that I personally... Oh, let's hold up. I'm seeing a lot of... I'll answer them in a minute. I didn't want to put that on screen. Let me get off that real quick. I feel like James Gunn said something recently about people were asking about with the storyline with Rick Flag Sr. if Bloodsport coming into the story means that they're going to make Peacemaker feel more guilty about what happened with Rick Flag Jr. Because I guess Rick Flag Jr. and Bloodsport were allies. But if they bring Bloodsport in, I hope they come up with a reason for him to be there, other than to just pester Peacemaker about what happened in Court of Maltese, you know? Because I think James Gunn made a great point about how they're already doing that emotional story with what Rick Flag Sr.'s doing to Peacemaker. And so they're already kind of going that route. It feels redundant to bring him in for just to be like that sort of thing. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Retrolad. We'll get to that in a minute. But no, I just think I would expect I'm not expecting. Here's something that's kind of crazy. In terms of Suicide Squad characters, I think to throw out a character that's not on that list that no one's thought of yet, because they've already alluded to her in this universe. I think we could see a new Enchantress during Peacemaker.
Mm.
I
don't know if we'll get like a reveal, but maybe more about her. I also I've seen people throw around Ratcatcher too a little bit.
Ratcatcher could happen. She's canon. I could see that.
Now
here's the thing that would be interesting though.
What?
With Ratcatcher, this is what the other thing. I don't want to cut you off, Kenna.
Oh no, it's okay.
With Ratcatcher, the interesting thing is, Ratcatcher was very close to Bloodsport. So if Ratcatcher got in danger, that would make a situation for why Bloodsport I think would be relevant to the story if he came in.
Yeah, but back to what I said earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back to what I was saying earlier about the whole who could be the guy that Lex sent Rick Flag Sr. to go visit to help get Peacemaker. I've seen like a lot of crazy things of like who it could be. No one really, anyone specific, like an actual character's name, but like people just going based on like the 3 seconds of hearing the guy's voice being like, what do you want from me, or whatever he said. Like I've seen people say it's Henry Cavill. It sounds like Henry Cavill, or it sounds like there was like another actor, I can't remember his name, but I'm just in general very curious of who that person is and why so far James Gunn is hiding who they're meeting up with, like who Lex Luthor sent them to.
I just expected it to be one of Lex's minions from the Superman movie, but like if it's not that, then it's a big surprise character. Then cool on them. Like that's awesome. I just feel like, to be completely honest, I'm gonna say something wild. I think, if you remember, James Gunn said his favorite episodes of the season were he has said things about episode 7 being a good episode, but he said 6 and 8 are the important ones. So
Okay.
I think if there is cameos in episode 7, it's not. I think episode 7 is the setup episode to make the grand finale. I think
Right,
episode
yeah.
7 is, hey, we're gonna do this thing and we're gonna set the stage for where things are going. But then I think episode 7 we could get a cameo, but it's not gonna be as grandiose as like Lex Luthor in prison.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think 8, though, I will say this. I think 8 will have multiple big surprises. And I think that even
for
though
sure.
we could list all the live long day who it's going to be, but I ultimately think that even if we think of who it's going to be, we have good guesses. I think we're going to be wrong every turn because I think he's going to pull out with the level of secrecy he has. Like I think the Lex Luthor one, even though people were theorizing it for a long time, was predictable. But then when it happened, people were going crazy about it. I think
Mhm.
there's going to be ones that we didn't think of happening. In like I read something today that Man of Tomorrow. He said somebody on Threads asked him, with this, you calling this a prequel to Man of Tomorrow? Is this going to be what exactly can we expect in terms of the future of the DCU? And he said more than a tease.
Hmm.
So
Right.
it kind of makes me think if it's more than a tease, chance that the main villain of that movie could show up at the end of this project.
It's possible.
Whether we might
Or
find out
another
at the end
main
of
villain.
Peacemaker, whether it's something else or another overarching villain to the story.
Or a Green Lantern.
So I think that.
Um,
Well, I think
Green
we're definitely
Lantern.
getting a lantern in some capacity. I think Hal is definitely popping up.
let me.
Because I think that's.
I just want to
Okay.
say that Retro Lad, like people would lose it if Henry Cavill is Overman. People will lose their minds if Henry Cavill shows up at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Like as
I just will be
anybody.
honest,
As anybody, yeah.
I'll just be honest, and I've said this before, and I expect. I really just don't expect Henry Cavill until Crisis. I really don't. Like I want to get.
Well, I mean,
everyone
we're
was
on an
that.
Earth X thing. It's possible. You know what I mean? Like,
No, they could do
and
it. They could do it. I'm not saying
and like,
that.
I mean, it would be funny in a way too, because like, there's all this like, oh, you're not going to be Superman. You know what I mean? Like, and then like he brings him back in basically as
Mhm.
fast as he can as not Superman, but basically Superman. Like that
Yeah.
would be great.
Now,
another
they
thing
did
that
something
Retro
where they
said-
changed the-
Sorry.
Go ahead. What did you say, Retro? Say you were reading the comment.
Retro said that we need to know who this alien is in the doors. James Gunn
Agreed.
did answer a question, someone where I think this girl, she asked, like, oh, are we gonna explore more of the other doors in like the little dimension rift room? And basically James Gunn said yes. And so I definitely think maybe 7 and 8, maybe more likely 8 rather than 7. We're gonna see more of that alien, and also maybe other doors, little peeks and glimpses of other universes too, as well.
You know, the
It
fact
is
that
like
that
the-
alien has been more prominent. The fact that
What?
that alien has been so prominent in this, like, oh, what'd you say,
Mhm.
Luke? Sorry.
I was just gonna say something silly, like maybe he's like, the keeper of the different dimensions, or he's some like important ass character or something. I don't know.
Right,
but,
and,
you know.
and the only thing we've been seeing him do lately is just burning cats in the chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Joe, what
I
were
think,
you gonna say?
I think with the fact that they had that alien in here, and in Superman we had the Mr. Handsome dude, right? I think James Gunn is definitely. I don't know how he'll do it, but if I had to put money on a big character that doesn't already exist in our current DCU canon, I really do think we're going to get Martian Manhunter in some capacity in this show, because it seems like they're alluding to it. Like there's a lot of focus on like aliens right now, and like I know that Lanterns is the next thing, intergalactic thing we have coming, but it just, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff with aliens right now. It kind of makes me think that we might be doing something Martian Manhunter here. For
I
sure.
agree. I think we
Because-
could be getting that. I think, but what you're saying now, Retro, thoughts on Waller making a cameo, sets up Chetmake? I think that's possible. Mentions Batman as well. I mean, maybe we get a tease of Batman, but I really don't think so yet. I just think
Here's
like the
something
movie.
I think is kind of interesting about the when you
It's
think
a
about
ways.
future things. You want to know something? I noticed that since you mentioned, like, since Retro had mentioned potentially other projects like Waller and this Checkmate thing I've been even making videos about. I heard Frank Grillo, who plays Rick Flag Sr., I heard that even though we don't even have him cast yet, I heard that Rick Flag Sr., or I said Frank Grillo let slip that Rick Flag Sr. is already planned to fight Batman in the DCU.
Amazing.
I can't believe
But
that's
you
on
know
the
how
table.
far away that is?
Like,
2030.
yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, James Gunn's talking about, Batman coming out by 2030, and it's like, Retro Lad, like, I just can't even imagine Justice League 1 or 2 or 3, how far away they really are, and like,
He
why
debunked that a little
it's
bit.
it's almost it's
He
almost
debunked
too
that a little
early.
bit. He
What's
actually debunked that a little bit. He said that'll be before those 2 years. Like, he went back on that like comment when they said, "Oh, you expect 2030 or 2031." He said it's going to be before that. So,
Well, he said bye,
I think-
you know what I mean? So yeah, I would imagine hopefully it would be earlier than that. But if
my
we're saying
plan-
2030 at the latest, to be making references to something like 4 years away, and it's just a character, it's like not even like a villain or like an arc, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of too early.
There's
almost.
still a lot of work to do with that film because it is going to be the first true Bat family film. So when you think, not only do they have to cast Batman, they have to cast Nightwing, they have to cast
Right.
Jason Todd.
Right.
I've heard talks of both Batgirl and Batwoman. So yeah, they got a lot of people. They got
James
cast.
Gunn's trying to
Now,
really
what
get it
do
right. I
think
think
on that,
Hold on one second, Joe. I just think it's just James Gunn is trying very hard to get this Bat family thing right, get this Batman thing right, because I mean,
Yeah.
Batman is the bane of DC's existence when it comes to live action.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one character
I
you
think that-
literally have to get right, and they're so afraid to get him wrong that they won't even put him
Yeah.
in things like the CW,
Yeah,
where it's like, why can't you make a Batman character in that? You know what I mean? Like, they really copped out on
They
it, like,
made
big
him-
time.
they made him off limits for that. Like, they were like, you guys cannot. You can do anything with these characters. You cannot do. You cannot do Batman. That's not happening. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Chris. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
You can
no,
do
I feel
Batwoman,
like
but not Batman.
I know people. I know people went crazy. Like, I know people have gone crazy over, like, some people really like Superman. Some people think that James Gunn had a lot of passion for Superman and really liked what he was doing. I really do think that I really do think that that James Gunn likes Batman more than Superman. And I'm not saying that because I know he started his universe with Superman, but the conversations I've seen popping up, especially this Lego Batman game, I really do get the feeling that the reason he's taking so long with Batman is Superman. He wanted to do it right, but I think he knew that that whole idea was like the fact that, like, he knew we needed to get Superman right and get it done differently than what Zack Snyder did. But I think that even though he states, because Superman was important to his dad and was important to him, James Gunn is, even though his humor is kind of raunchy, he also has a very dark sense of humor. So I feel like he would understand what it takes to do Batman right. And I think he clearly even has said as a kid, doing Batman justice is very important. And also, one of the things that we also got to look at when we think of, as long as they're partnered with Warner Brothers, we've talked about this before, Batman is their Spider-Man. So, like, while Superman is the movie that did do fairly well, we got that alien thing. We'll look at that later.
Yeah, if you don't have an intro, I'm thinking just play it for an outro. All right, I meant outro.
Okay. Yes, when we end it? Okay. But I just feel like Batman is the character that I think James Gunn has been waiting to get to work with. And I think he's taking extra care because even though messing up Superman in people's eyes, he's getting ridiculed left and right. I think he knows because Batman is a character that's known not just American, international as well. So he has to do that character right because Batman is a flagship character. And if he messes that up, it's going to screw up all their numbers. Because if you look at, like, the Batman, you look at all the other attempts at Batman, everybody loves Batman. Very few people do you talk to nowadays that don't know Batman or don't love Batman. Like, James Gunn was saying about casting for Batman, one of the things that makes it tough is that there's multiple big-time Hollywood actors that just keep shouting at James Gunn.
Yeah,
I want to be Batman.
Everybody wants to be Batman. He's like, it's easier to find somebody who doesn't want to be Batman. So.
Yep. So to me, that's why I think this casting process is gonna be so tough. Like, I think he'll cast the other Bat family, and I think he'll find them in a good amount of time. I think it's gonna take him a little bit for Batman because he wants that perfect Batman. He wants someone that's gonna be a beast. Like he said, Batman. Oh, I do believe Brendan Squinnar is Batman. It could happen.
Who's the guy you posted earlier though? With the Neil Adams stuff, Retro Lad, because that guy looked like he could be Batman too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who it was, but
we could fan cast all the live long day. But I think that honestly, we just have to trust that James Gunn's going to pick the right person. I'm done really fan casting. I mean, if Brandon gets it, cool. I think that'd be awesome because I just want a Batman. I want the Batman that I've waited to see. Like, I feel like Pattinson brought elements of Batman that I love, but they're doing the younger Batman. I've never felt like any of the times that we've gotten to do Batman, even though I do have love for some aspects of Christian Bale, I do have love for aspects of Michael Keaton. I just don't feel like we've done Batman in his prime right, and I'm really excited to see that opportunity utilized properly. And I just want a Batman. I want, like, people, like, you know, with the Batman, they focus on the detective element. I have not seen a Batman movie in live action media that properly depicts how good Batman's combat skills are. Like, they've hinted at, they've done elements like with the Flash, with Michael Keaton, he was doing some martial arts moves, but he's an older Batman. I want to see a Batman 37 to 40 that is an absolute Arkham tank menace. Like, even having a child and having a Bat family, whatever foes he faces, I want to see him just absolutely wrecking an entire room of dudes. And not Zack Snyder, not killing people, not getting stabbed 20 times, having a proper suit that protects him, but still getting in there and, like, kind of Sherlock Holmesing it. If you've seen Sherlock Holmes from the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, where he's surrounded by enemies and he's constantly going in his head, oh, first I'm going to jab this guy, then I'm going to slam this guy into this box, then I'm going to pick this guy up and do a spin kick, then I'm going to grapple into this guy and kick him out the window. Like, just that play-by-play, that style of Batman taking that detective skills and adding it to, because I'm so sick of the comics constantly say, oh, Batman knows 170 martial arts and he's master in so many styles. But we never see it. We never see it depicted on just how skilled he's meant to be. Like, I feel like they've done a better job in Marvel with Captain America's fighting styles than they have with, like, how to make Batman show his talents.
Yeah, I
just feel like that's something that we have never seen.
It's such a comic booky thing. Like, it feels like a 60s like Marvel thing almost, where like Stan just like throws the words at the same stuff all the time for scientific explanations, and we're over here on Batman like he knows 170 martial arts, and every time he goes in and he just fucking punches people like normal. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, 170
brawling and stuff. But like, I want to see a Batman that, like, he knows that he's a master. Like, I want to see a Batman that, like, when he's up in a room with multiple villains, he's actually, like, blocking and striking and, like,
that'd be amazing. But the Batman did a good job. The Batman did a good job. So I have hope.
But my thing with the Batman is, like, I feel like the Batman, I've said this before, I talked to my martial arts buddies, we feel like the Batman, Pattinson's version of the Batman when he was first starting out, fights like he was like he just joined the UFC and, like, he's scrappy, where he's like, he's got the technique, but because if you watch that scene of him beating the crap out of the guys in the subway station, it just feels like there's raw power, but the technique, he doesn't have the control that's needed to, like, because the thing about Batman is the whole point of martial arts is the discipline, right? Like, you could power kick this guy with the strongest back kick, but how you utilize that and fine tune that martial arts, that's what makes Batman I want to see that martial arts mastery. I want
that would
to
be
know
cool. Batman Begins is like the only one that ever even touched on that kind of stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I do hope, even if we don't see, even I don't want to see origin stories, of course, in like Batman and Superman stuff. But I really am hoping if we focus on the League in Brave and the Bold, I want flashbacks of like Bruce where he was like give me like not just training with the League, but what other masters he had. Like I like the theory that when they bring in Wildcat, that Wildcat and Batman would just meet up and spar. Like I've been toying around with that theory, like that Wildcat has been around as the longest superhero, and so that he
Right. I
kind of
like
mentored
that.
Batman and was just kind of like Batman meets him up as his mentor in like the Brave and the Bold cartoon, and they're just in the ring doing that. I think that'd be awesome. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Retro.
The thing that Retro posted earlier was about, and I don't know if this dude's an actor. I don't really know who he is, but Paul Anthony Kelly. There's like
Yeah,
pictures
okay.
of him in the suit and stuff, and like he really looks like he could be Bruce Wayne, and I
you
think
think he
that's
could
one of the biggest things.
Do you think you could do the Batman part though too?
I mean, anybody can learn, and they can always have people have. I mean, everyone's got a stunt double. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? And when you're in the
That's what
cowl, like it's not hard to change the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something I've been toying around with was that's a good point. Is like, so many people get so focused on, I personally just want, even though it's really hard to do, I really hope we get an actor that we can allow to have less stunt doubles for him. Like obviously we have to have them, but I'd like to have someone that is able to deliver the combat scenes themselves and then like actually still be okay, like looking good on camera as Bruce Wayne. Like,
sure,
personally, I
it's
feel like
nice. It's definitely nice. To
movie.
me, it's lowest priority,
Yeah.
personally. I need
Right. No, I
someone
get
who can act, number one.
Yeah.
I need a good actor. You need to have a good actor. If you do not have a good actor, you have a serious problem. You have an iron fist problem.
I think the
You know what I
acting
mean?
is the priority. The acting is definitely the priority.
And then you need someone that actually looks like Bruce Wayne if you're going to do this accurately. You know what I mean? Like are you going to pick like a freaking like alternate universe Bruce Wayne, or are you actually going to do it like real Bruce Wayne? And we finally get an accurate looking Bruce Wayne. Because like, have we ever really? Ben Affleck's like the closest thing we've ever had to an accurate looking Bruce Wayne. Like Christian Bale does not look like Bruce Wayne. Michael Keaton did not look like Bruce Wayne. Val Kilmer did not look like Bruce Wayne. Who was the other one? George Clooney is closer. George Clooney is a bit closer, but like still not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that's kind of sad is like
stand on Michael Keaton being old man Bruce maybe in the future.
That would work. He'd be perfect for that, I think.
But yeah, I do
if they
agree
do that
when he was Batman in his earlier years, he wasn't really Bruce.
Val was an underrated Batman. That movie apparently has a good cut. Like I've heard that movie was actually kind of a lot darker or something, like when it was originally directed, and a lot of studio changes were made to that movie to make it a lot worse, and I can totally see that.
Oh yeah, I hate when that happens.
So I have a lot. So we're kind of locked into the time slot that I wanted to wrap on, but I know that there might have been one other topic. Is there anything that you wanted to dive into, kind of real quick before we wrap?
No, I don't have anything coming to mind.
I do real quick, just because. Oh.
You go, Luke.
All right. So the studio's messing with Batman, and that was the fourth one, Batman Forever, right, with Val Kilmer. I got into on the Comic Conspiracy podcast. They actually do an interview with the guy who wrote the script for the first Batman movie, Batman 1989. And it was super interesting. It got me wicked into the old movies again. And, he was talking about how with the second movie, he wasn't really involved or less involved. I can't really remember. I think he was still involved. But, like, the whole direction of where the studio was going, like he described, because there was, like, so much love that he had put into the first script to really make it feel like a Batman movie. Because it was the first one, really, besides, what's his name? in the 60s.
Adam West.
Thank you. I lost that for a second. Yeah, there's just a lot of love, and you just can see throughout the years of the Batman movies, the original 4, that the studio has more and more control over the movie each time, and you can see where that 4th one with Val Kilmer really did have dark undertones to it, and then it just like gets blown out of proportion in the other direction with like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. You know, so
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Did you want me to? Oh, hold up. Yeah. Did you want me to play? Did you want me to play that outro before we leave,
no, just that'll be the very last thing. That'll be the very last thing. So anything you want to say and do, just let it play for a little bit before turn it off.
Okay. Yeah, I just was getting ready to wrap because I was trying to get out of here before 9 o'clock because I still have a few things to do before I go to bed and get up early for work.
You mean before 10 o'clock? Oh no, it's 9 for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds like you're all good though. You got nothing else? We're a wrap.
I think we said what we needed to say.
Pretty good.
All right. Cool. I'm just gonna do a quick little thing. I've got my streams coming back, you guys. I'm going big time on it. This time tomorrow is the start of something whole new, like endeavor on my streaming. 31 Days of Halloween. Third time around, going to be playing a horror game every single night. Silent Hill F is going to be the starter for first night, probably the first couple nights, and then it's going to turn into voted based games on the Discord. It's really cool. Joe's going to play for an outro, my intro to my streaming, just a little taste of the new style I'm going to have going forward, and some of the additional programs that are getting plugged within that, you know, like Comic Book Corner, Legion of Creators right here, and just a few other things I got cooking.
Awesome. So do you want me to play that now?
Oh yeah, we're all set, and then just end the stream once it's done.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna play this little intro for you guys, and then we're gonna get out of here. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
And if you enjoy, follow Dinger the Winger.
Yeah, enjoy it. Follow Dinger the Winger is good stuff. That's cool.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
There's a lot to get into. Thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoy.
Here's Johnny!
Don't worry, we'll be getting there real soon. Legion of Creators.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Just recalibrating. You want to take a moment? Just stay with me. We'll be right there. Loading up lots of games right now. What's over right there? I heard this here. just getting my footing. It'll only be a couple minutes.
It is so long.
Yeah, he's promoting all his stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, Little Nightmare 3.
I swear, I do swear, we'll be there any minute now.
Oh, of course, all the aliens.
And, Game Void, it's on the way.
No good to me dead.
So let's talk Star Wars Bounty Hunter remaster, I guess. I think it's really enjoyable. Graphics way nicer. It's just like some of these cutscenes, even looking at Count Dooku, I feel like I'm actually looking at Count Dooku. Gameplay wise, refined controls, huge. When they ported this game to PS4 so many years ago, I tried to play it again, and it was just terrible experience. I couldn't do it at all. This game really makes you feel like Jango Fett. You know, there's times where you're flying around on the jetpack, just shooting people like crazy, doing flips, all kinds of stuff. It is fun, I gotta say. Like, especially with the refined controls, there are times I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. You know, it's not really like any other Star Wars games we have. I guess the closest thing I think I'd compare it to is Star Wars Jedi Academy, you know, but a bounty hunter version.
Aren't you? I mean, well, why would you be? You already have a lightsaber, so you're probably way ahead of me. I'm Rosh, by the way.
I'm not afraid.
Good. You will be. You will be.
A few moments later.
There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you.
Yeah, that Yoda line.
That Luke Skywalker, always getting himself into trouble.
Oh yeah, this is one of my. This part's funny. This is the Mario segment.
Wrong. God, was it Oh no.
Oh, God!
Something is wrong here. Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that it? Oh, it's space. Nice. Okay,
Is
so
that
Luke
it?
says the next thing he's working on is our new. Yeah,
Wait,
so Luke says next.
Yeah, we're
Playing it
doing
again.
a special October Halloween intro for Allegiance of Creators. That's awesome. Again, yeah, this was Luke's new promo for his channel. Everyone go check it out. I know that he has Dinger the Winger, and then he has Dinger the Winger Live, I believe, for when he's doing live streamings, and he also has his Discord. Pretty sure if I remember correctly, Dinger Winger Dungeon. If you want more updates for his whatever he's working on, and join the community, and yeah. He's great, and so everyone go check him out when he's, doing all his new content. Especially, I'm excited for the Halloween games that he'll be playing for 30 days of October. That sounds exciting. So, yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you
No
for coming
problem,
to this
man.
episode of Legion of Creators. I think in next week's episode, it will be Alien Earth theme. We'll be talking about that mostly, but also other stuff as well. So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. Bye.
Yep. Goodbye, everyone.
Good Tuesday episode. Good numbers.